Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you what to expect in the next update of the add-ons. So let's start with random Starship. There's going to be an added preset, this 01 right here. I haven't made it yet, so that's going to be an additional preset. And also the sections will now be using the new section drop-down script, which is available in 4.2, but I wasn't able to implement it because of the 4.2 bug with the redo panel. And since it is fixed in 4.2.3, I have now implemented it. So this is now using that new script to for the health section for the sections in the random Starship. The advantage of this is that, for example, if we want to use, let's get rid of the cube. For example, if we want to use like this one and increase the subdivision, so increasing the subdivision will of course slow down the operation based on the resolution that you are adding to the mesh. So for example, for example, if I were to switch the bump limit to none, you can see that there's a bit of delay because of the added resolution here. So if we, for example, use level 0 and switch the bump limit from none to adjacent, you can see that it's very fast. But if we use higher subdivision, of course the script is going to work on all that resolution and the operation can get laggy. So when you for example use this bump limit property to switch between none to adjacent, you can see that there's a bit of a lag, so the script takes time to operate or complete. And in the old version, which you have now, the toggles for the sections to open them up for the drop down sections is a property within the operator, which means that it is affected by the lags. So but now when using the new UI script for the drop down, you can see that it's no longer affected by speed. Even if the entire operation takes time to complete using its inherent properties, the drop-down sections are no longer, their toggles are no longer affected by the overall speed of the operator. So it's much faster to open them and close them. I tried setting this, laying this out in horizontally, but doesn't work, unfortunately. It would have been better to like hull, front, back, plating, wings, and settings right here are arranged horizontally. And if you open this up, the other can close and only that section can open up, but it wasn't possible. So at least we have the advantages of speed right now. Okay, so that will be for random Starship. And let's go on to Final Cut. Final Cut Cube. So Final Cut, someone commented in Discord that, or asked about the ability to continue the lines, like for example here, or the panel cuts, to be able to select this and then continue the cuts. I tested it out in the old version, which you have now. There's an error here, which is the division 0 error. Basically means that you cannot divide 0. So in the next update, you will be able to continue the line from, for example, this endpoint here of the previous Final Cut that I did. So Final Cut, bevel, and then you have to merge those points. So you can see merge to vertices, and then you only have to clean up the excess edges. Fortunately, the script not be able to detect the edges right here, so you have to manually clean it up. And you cannot do multiple either, so you only have to use a single line to continue it, but after that you can just uh, you should clean up the excess here. Okay, so you will be able to continue the lines and not make it contiguous like before, like that. So contiguous means that the endpoint should touch another edge that is another verge. Oh yeah, another edge that is highlighted. So yeah, that will be for Final Cut. And then what's next? The pre-select add-on. I will finish the online documentation, then I will pass the updates as well. Okay, so in Creative Flow, we don't have anything new with Creative Flow. Not yet. List. And then we have Random Flow. So Random Loop Extrude, this is quite a bit of a long reduced panel UI. So I've added in um, the new drop-down section, drop-down script here as well. So this is called global setting. This is folded or closed by default. So this basically opens up the old UI right here, and you can toggle it off to make the UI shorter. So um, I have changed the UI, so I relocated the cuts and the subdivision properties right here, the cuts factor and the repeat. So because even if you have this hidden or closed for the default operation of the random loop extrude, you only have to basically like use a preset, for example, and then increase the cuts. So most of the time, you don't have to really touch the global setting unless you wanna play around with clear faces, for example, or the new join tries. So I will also explain this in a bit with uh, random panels. Okay, so for the join tries, so for example, quad slice lengths, and right here, I'm going to use 100% angle. And you can see that there's a bunch of triangles right here bunching up. You can use join tries to basically quantify that area, and you have mostly squares. Now, this only works in lower resolutions for this type of geometry, but if we increase the uh, resolution, okay, I guess it also still works, but as the resolution of the source mask increases when you have something like this, then the joint rise property essentially loses if its worth or usefulness. Okay, so what else? So random, and to randomize the shading, I've now included the angle by angle method as well. So random probably from before only randomized from base and top. So in the new update, it will randomize with base, top, and by angle. Okay, and that is also true with uh, random cells. Scan. Okay. With random slice now have the limit smooth properties from random panel or random panels, and it now also have the even offset. So even offset works with, let's just load up this model here. So for example, if you're using random panels or random loop extrude, and you notice the geometric spiking like this, which goes on forever, you can get rid of this using even offset off, turning it off, and that is the same with random slice. So with random slice, you can also use it as random panels to basically, like random panels to basically model your detail your base mesh. So just gonna create a smaller depth here and then increase the thickness a bit. So if you detect any spiking, you can use even offset off to get rid of those. Okay, so you can play around with randomized shading now and also use base top, smooth by angle or flat. And let's just use random or and source the direction of the cast using just the literal XYZ direction. And then you can also limit the solve, basically merging the faces based on an angle threshold instead of creating the catch per face. You can increase this, create your details here, XYZ. So it's just another way of creating uh, details. And you don't have, the good thing about this random slices, you don't have to actually have a quad topology for this to work. This can work on ingons and any type of face. You can set the inner margin or outer margin. And then the proc, limit the proc, see right here. I forgot the full wording for proc, but basically uh, determines if a particular face is going to be deleted or not. So for example, 1% and only 20%, something like that. So you can play around with you can create small panel details, something like that. And XYZ, increase the amount here. Okay, so yeah, it's another way of creating detail. Random axis extrude. So no change here. Random cells. For a mesh. Not no change here as well. Random scatter. So random tubes. Let's create a new. So random tubes and random cables can now this is random scatter. Random tubes, random cable can now randomize the thickness of the curve. So let's just use the height set, and there's going to be a toggle. So there's I think it's width, yeah, and there's a uniform toggle right here. Uniform means it's using a single value to determine the width of the um, pipes or curves. So if you toggle this off, it will randomize between a min max value. Okay. And this is the same for random cables. Let's just increase this. And the width here is called bevel. So it's different from random tubes. And you can toggle this off, and the bevel or the width of the cables can now be randomized using a min max value. So the randomization happens between the values of the min and the max. So for example, right here, the minimum width or bevel will be 0.01 and the maximum width will be 0.05. Okay, so in light of this, flanges and couplings will also be has also changed to incorporate the changes in random tubes and random cables. Okay, so for example, right here, we're going to use flanges and couplings, and if we do this, you can see that the sizes are uniform throughout. And if we decrease this, so it's gonna be smaller for some of the bigger pipes and bigger for some of the smaller pipes. So in order to compensate, we have a new property called scale mode. And in order to this basically using dynamic basically um, multiplies the thickness of the width or the width of the curve or the bevel to the size or to the radius right here, and makes the flanges and coupling smaller for the smaller pipes and bigger for the bigger pipes. But you have to increase the radius like that. Sometimes you need to increase the radius. If you're not seeing any flanges or couplings, Shift Z to you can see them. Maybe they're just too small, so just increase the radius. Okay, that also, so dynamic means that it will adapt to the size of the pipes. So look at this one here versus the smaller one right here. Okay, so let's move on. Panel cloth, plate insets. Plate insets will also have the shading, the limit smooth properties. Can also randomize the result right here. Okay, panel screws. No change for panel cloth. Oh, and I've also deprecated some operators because of the new smooth sharp operator, which gets rid of the bonding. Some of the operators that deal with the data transfer modifier to solve this, the bonding when using too much subdivision on a curved or organic surface. So with smooth sharp, you can get rid of that using smoothing, most of it anyway. And then the new option will be smooth sharp. You can also you can see that smoothing the flat areas will not smooth out the sharp areas. It maintains those. So to smooth out the sharp, you can use this as well. So you can see that most of the banding is uh, somewhat gone. Smooth boundary selected only. There we go. So this is using smooth sharp versus no smooth sharp. Okay. And extras, like merge object settings. Okay, so what else? Let's target. That's it for the some of the at least some of the ones that I will remember. But the complete changes will be reflected in the change flag in the online documentation. So if I missed anything, it will be there. Okay, before we end this video, let's just model something using the new changes. I'm just gonna draw something here. I will add a new option in Creative Flow that will uh, change the settings for the draw boolean. So instead of it selecting the boolean object or draw object when you finish drawing, you can have the option to stay selecting the source object. So you can just draw and draw and then apply boolean on those. Quad slice. And distance, let's just use 0.01 to merge some of the really close edges. And draw modifiers, this already have a mirror. Just solidify and increase the solidify thickness. Apply the thickness and then auto mirror X-ray just to reestablish the mirror back. And let's just create some race topology right here. Create auto smooth. Sharp. On volume mark sharp. Okay, just a sample. Maybe we could, and then we could try out random slice. Set the depth to something lower. Thickness, just a bit of thickness. Then we're going to clip the center. And random slice has the ability to scale faces compared to random panels. Okay, let's try randomizing the. So the cuts are made per per face. So in order to create like large faces with larger areas, you can just limit dissolve the source mesh. The limit dissolve will only affect the proxy mesh created by the script and not the source mesh. So this process is, in object mode, this process is non-destructive. This, switching here, selecting this. So, oh, we have the spiking. You can turn off the even offset. It's just, okay, this looks good. Kind of looks like a tube, piece of the shading. And selecting this. Again, we can experiment with the prop. Just leave us with few faces. You can increase the length, minimum length, to basically get a more and more squarish faces. To get rid of the really thin ones. So it's just, things better if we use this use 100% proc value. Okay. And then you can also decrease the amount of faces using the cut amount. So let's just make it lower. Okay, so something like that. We can change the shading. You can remove parts if you don't like it because of the non-destructive nature. Okay, let's try and shade this. And I'm just gonna append the shader that I've already used in some in past Blender projects. Save time, island. I'm going to append a shader. Let's material. So this is using UV, so I'm just going to use cube projection. Okay, let's change the your eye or the lighting. Still have to edit the shader. Okay, let's go with this one. So edge mask right off the bat, it's too strong. This one, this is too big. 2.5 gravity mask. 10. Let's try 4. Inner detail is 8. Reduce the saturation and copy this over to the cavity mask. Now let's view the entire shader. Okay, and activate the light. Oh, it's already activated. Okay, 20, but I can't see anything. 0.05. There we go. Make it smaller by using a higher scale. 0.04. The offset randomizes the position of the lights. Okay, so too much roughness. Too much selecting the source mesh, selecting every face. We're going to use random cells to create our favorite spikes or my favorite spikes. It's just 50 or just 25. Okay, we're just going to use it to break the silhouette. You give it like little protrusions like antenna or something. Then you can just continue adding stuff if you want. So for example here, you want to use something like random slice but random panels, but you can't do it because it's not a quad, it's an in gun. And this is where grid project comes in. Just project a and set it to length, set the size, and so do use something like 0.01 here or 0.005. So now you have a quad structure, and then you can use random panels on it. So that is basically the grid project. You can just project the quad structure there forcibly like that. And if you want to remove it, just use limit and dissolve. So the quad slice and grid project, which is also available in random flow, is used for that very specific purpose. So provide a quad structure for most of the random operators that works with quantified topology. Okay, let's try and create raised geometry here to break up the inner and outer space of the model and use larger depth. Okay, and maybe set the minimum length, something like use higher minimum length since saying bunch of thin faces. Okay. So Shift F, merge by distance. Okay. Play around with the let's see. Let's try shortest. Okay. I don't know why I'm getting this really thin slice in the right one. It- Oh, because of the XYZ. It's creating a because of the XYZ tangent, it's using the literal YZ direction to create the lines. So sometimes if you have an edge like slightly off the literal axis, it's going to create a line there and then create really small, a real small and thin face, long thin face, and then create the cuts from there, thereby creating those uh, really thin faces. So just switch over to edge if you're having trouble with the XYZ origin. Use minimum distance. Where's the minimum distance? And kind of like the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. It doesn't move. I can't see it. Oh my god. Where did it go? Oh, I'm using shortest. So it disappears with shortest. With XYZ, it does that. You can also face the polygon or face directly and use view. And you can use the view to influence the shape of the view of the viewport angle to influence the direction of the cut. So be careful with this because if you change the angle like that and then randomize, for example, it's going to, because it's a redo panel, it's actually going to reevaluate and rerun the script based, and then because it's using the view angle, it's going to analyze the or use the new angle that you're using. So if you're using this and you like a particular view angle, do not change the angle of the viewport or rotation of the viewport. So let's try this. So you can definitely affect the orientation of the cuts. Okay, so just gonna use something like that. And for example, here, you can, there we go. You can face directly to create a really straight cut. Let's make the texture larger or smaller. So this shader comes with random flow using this operator here. It will append 7 materials to the scene, which uh, is the are the materials that I'm usually using with my renders and videos. It's something like that. Really good sharp lighting. If you have the model, then you can use the lighting. You can do a lot of cheats with lighting. You can hide some parts of the mesh that you want to hide using really dramatic lighting using shadows. So it's all about finished product and the perspective you're trying to show the user. You're basically painting an image using 3D software. So something like that, and this could be rendered in this distance, and you have your hero subject here, which is like saluting. Yeah. And you can duplicate this to create multiple copies, and of course give them different rotations for variation. So this is a spaceship using um, using random slice. Okay, so that's it for this video. Those are all the upcoming updates, enhances, and new features. So I'm just going to finish the online documentation for the pre-select add-on. Then I'm going to pass the updates and a whole lot of them. So yeah, if you have any questions, use the comment section below or the links in the description. Subscribe and hit notify. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.